Thronefall, a tower defense strategy game, fully released October 11, 2024 by Glizzy Goblin Games. The developers grew inspiration to create Thronefall through the pain of life. Work, family, life were occupying the developers' time, leaving no room to play video games. Thus came the creation of Thronefall, a game developers say would not be time-consuming, accessible to an audience that did not have much experience playing video games. But with every great creation comes an abuser. Thronefall is a simple game. Protect your castle, fail to do so, you lose. Online you'll be told to succeed you need to find a good balance between building economy, army, and tower defenses. What are these? Well, towers and armies help you defend against your castle, while economy produces gold to build those defenses. But I disagree with the online opinion. I believe you need to focus on economy as much as possible, get just enough defenses to pass around. Often, I find myself in the first few rounds just using my weapon. Having a good economy built and being able to get all the defenses I need, you're able to proceed through the rounds until you beat the boss fight. And boom, you defeated one of Thronefall's 10 maps. You will spend the rest of the time completing the other maps and the quests that come with them. And this is where the game ends. Well, originally. Until February 3rd, 2025, when Glizzy Goblin Games updated the game and added the Eternal Trials. Entering the Eternal Trials, an endless roguelike game mode that pushes creative strategy. You play through a series of stages. Each stage is based on a level from the main campaign, but with twists and modifications. At the start of every stage, you're given 3 choices. You pick a map, a weapon, and 2 perks. The map and weapon are only for that stage, but the perks stay with you for the entire run. As you move forward, the difficulty ramps up. Enemies get tougher, and you'll start seeing elite versions of familiar enemy types. And since the mode has permadeath, once your base goes down, the entire run is over. You got to start from scratch. To succeed in the Eternal Trials, it's trivial your perk, weapon, and map selection are perfect. Failing to do so will end the run quickly. So, let's dive into these straight away. Perks. Abilities picked up before a level to increase your strength. These perks provide strategy and different playstyles. Whether you're using a tower, army, or weapon-based deck, the strength lies in the synergy. Take for example a weapon-based deck. Using this on the right map can turn a difficult boss fight into peanuts. However, as mentioned before, in the Eternal Trials you only get 2 perks before each level, making specific deck selection not possible. Therefore you have to adapt with what the game throws at you. There are a few perks and perk combination in this game mode that really excel. First, the GOAT, Treasure Hunter, giving 15, 25 and 40 extra gold before the last 3 waves. In the early stages of the Eternal Trials, there are fewer levels. This will guarantee a victory with Treasure Hunter as you are able to build more than enough defenses than needed. This will carry on through the first few stages, letting you pick perks aimed for later rounds, without worrying about defenses. There are 3 main economic perks: Big Harbors, Pumpkin Fields, and Sustainable Mining. Any perk that increases economy should be picked up, and quickly. Honorable mention to Fortified Houses, letting you focus on economic buildings while still building defenses. Heavy armor is also a must-have in the internal trials. Being unkillable is incredibly helpful in an endless gauntlet. And once you've reached past stage 10, there are 3 main perks that you must have: Pristine Archers and Pristine Warriors, and Commander Mode, increasing your army and tower strength by almost double. It's a must-have to reach far in the Eternal Trials. Furthermore, the layoffs from these perks have less effect the higher stage you reach. Architect's Council. Build options from the next Castle Center upgrade are already unlocked. Very useful to start a stage and be able to build the best economy and defense buildings. The Eternal Trials has also shown me strength within perks where I never saw them before. Take for example Explosive Revival, damaging enemies revived. Match it with King of Resurrection, first time you die every night you are revived immediately. You find an incredibly powerful elite killing combination. Weapons, the next important decision on the list. Every weapon is strong within this game, meaning there are no real bad picks, except that there are. In the Eternal Trials, picking a weapon should be based on the enemy composition. This won't matter in the early rounds, but the higher stage you reach, for more importance, it is to pick the right weapon. Take for example the Battle Axe. Fantastic against swarms of enemies you can do splash damage against. However, it will struggle a lot against flying and high health troops. So, when picking one of the 3 stages, it's important not just to pick the best perks, but also look if a weapon is viable to complete the stage. Lastly, maps. There are 9 maps in total in the Eternal Trial, but I don't really believe in picking the right map, as all of them are playable in the right setting. However, it is important to note that not all maps are created equal. As seen from this chart, red showing below average and green being above average, some maps have less firepower than others. However, I don't believe this applies a drastic change. Let's dive into one of my runs. I'll be going quick, so a lot of the first stages I'll be skipping. Luckily, I start the game with Treasure Hunter. Stage 2, I get Big Harbor and Arcane Towers. Stage 3, I get Architect's Council. And Stage 4, I pick up Heavy Armor and Range Resistance. Stage 5, I pick up Power Tower. And in terms of perk collection, this is one of the best starts you could have. And it really showed, as all the levels were very easy to pass. Stage 6, I pick up 2 power increasing perks. When upgrading buildings that have different defensive capabilities, it's good habit to look at the enemy composition and pick based on that. This map showed a lot of big swarms, so focusing on splash damage was key, and I'm easily able to pass this stage. Stage 7 had multiple good options, but I took the 2 perks to increase my army strength, just to find that bit of balance. The game also loves to throw hundreds of catapults at you in early rounds before you can properly set up. Luckily though, I had the right weapon to clear. Stage 8 gave an option for an economic perk upgrade. I will almost always choose economic perks over others. Stage 9, I pick up another economic perk and a tower defense perk. This stage is also on my favorite map in the Eternal Trials, Thronefall, and so an easy victory followed. Stage 10, we're looking very good. Good mix between the perks, so from this point onwards I'll really focus on perks that increase firepower. And throughout the next stages, I'm able to do that, picking up some of the most powerful perks. Stage 13 is on Nordfels, which, if you remember, is the map with the least firepower. Yet, it's a map I often choose. Because of the small size of the map, almost all towers are effective throughout the rounds, as they are never out of range, which some of the bigger maps don't share. This stage was not too difficult and I'm able to pass. Stage 14, I pick up 2 perks to increase the strength of my walls and army. Stage 15 didn't have amazing perk selection, so I picked the stage which I knew I could easily defeat. However, in the early rounds I got attacked by 4 large spiders and almost lost the run. Afterwards, I was able to clear the rest of the stage with no issues. Stage 16. Perk selection was again not amazing, so I picked the easier stage. This stage had another scare when I got swarmed by hunterlings, which are enemies which attack the king. I was able to duck under my fire spire tower, dropping hot oil on all those pesky critters. Stage 17, I grabbed Faster Research upgrade, which reduces the character upgrade cost by 1 coin and shortens the research time by 1 day. If an economic building gets destroyed overnight, you don't receive gold in the next morning. This made the early rounds very difficult since my economic buildings kept getting destroyed. However, once I managed to protect them properly, the rest of the stage became much easier. While Back is another one of those maps with less firepower, yet it feels very strong. Stage 18 offered 3 difficult options, so I chose the one that matched my preferred weapon style. Before starting, I took some time to plan how I would deal with the elite troops in the later rounds. Just like in the previous stages, I focused heavy on building economy first, adding only the minimum amount of defenses needed to survive. This strategy worked well at the start, and I made it through the first couple levels with no issues. I became overconfident, the enemy started to stack up faster than expected, and eventually, my castle fell. Most of my runs end this way. Either I focus too much on economic buildings and get overrun early, or I choose a stage without noticing that in the later round it will spawn a gajillion elite enemies. I'm sure if I had taken the time to properly check the enemy composition, I could have avoided these mistakes. But an eternal trial run takes a very long time, and once you enter a flow state, it's easy to miss these details.